And thank y'all so much for rocking with us here at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Coolest podcast in your ear, man. As you can see, we got our guy from Auburn Addicts. We got the one, the only, DC Wolf. Shout out to DC Wolf.
What's up? I'm in the house. Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right. And you heard him. Now you see him. One half, well, 1/4, 1/5 of the Sharpshooters podcast.
We got the best part. The best part of the Sharpshooters. The best part of the Sharpshooters podcast.
A portion of the Sharpshooters.
A portion of the Sharpshooters podcast.
The man will carry all the weight on the part.
The Auburn fan.
What's good, good people?
Hey, man, we here, man. We back around the water cooler, man. And I wasn't expecting this is not the show that I was expecting to have today. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting this to be a joyful show. We're getting ready to go into bowl practices. We're getting ready to try to win 7 games this year, you know, and have an end this year better than the way it started. But unfortunately, we are here trying to decide where does Auburn go from this tragedy that just happened this past weekend, man. Like, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? If you didn't watch it, I mean, sad, man, sad. And then Tight put up a short and had my face, Marcus' face, and DC face all in there. Had us looking sad because Auburn lost. You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see the short? Man, that was crazy, man.
I'm gonna have to go check
crazy,
it out,
man. I know I was looking sad because I was mad as I don't know what. I was mad.
I'm gonna check it out, man.
But it is what it is, man. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us here at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast.
You couldn't even see my eyes. I was so.
Now you saw my face. My face was dead right in the middle of the camera, bro. I was. It is what it is. But man, we here, man, and as good Auburn fans and Auburn people, we are here, and we just want to talk about it, man. So, topic of this show is where does Auburn go from here? Mm-hmm. Season is over with. 2024 season's over with. Let's just look to 2025 and moving forward. And how can we rebound and get back to the winning ways of Auburn of old? Let's just get your general thoughts. Let's start with Ted. Ted, tell me how you feeling, man.
I'm confused, man.
Okay.
I'm confused. After the game, after looking at the entire season, you asked the question, where does Auburn go from here? It's a tough question for me because I don't really know. This season that just passed, like, had I told everybody on this, the obvious answer is quarterback, right?
Okay.
That's the obvious answer.
Okay.
But the reason why it's confusing for me is because if I asked everybody on this panel this time last year, if I'd have asked everybody on this panel, where do you think Auburn will end up? If I can guarantee you that Peyton Thorne is going to throw for 2,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, most everybody on this panel will probably say like maybe 8 wins, right?
Yeah,
2,700 yards. That's plus 1,000 from last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then he missed 2 games, so he very well could have been a 3,000-yard passer.
Very true. Very true.
Which as it stands, there's only 3 3,000-yard passes in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'd have gave you those numbers beforehand and told you we was going to get a quarterback that was going to come in and do that, you said maybe 8 games, just off face value, but that didn't happen. So I'm a bit confused. I've thought about it a little bit, but I'm just going to go with stay the course. This is a young team, a very young team. They're going to get older. They're going to get better. They're going to get more experience. They're going to learn how to win games versus knowing how to lose them. I think that's kind of where I stand with it right now. That may change in a couple of days, but as of right now, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, all right. DC, what you got?
We can get in more in depth as far as positions are concerned, but right now I think it just like Ted says, if you would have seen the stats, yes, I would have probably said 7-8 wins. But if you look at the dynamic of the season and how it unfolded, our main problem was the QB position. And I'm gonna say, with the QB position, man, you had the numbers and the stats, and me and Nick had this conversation that stats don't lie. But sometimes when you look at a game, man, you can't see the intangibles. Like, think about in the Alabama game, he had good stats, but he missed a wide open Keandre Lambert Smith for a touchdown. It's again, and I'll go back and say, and I've been saying this all year, man. It's not what Peyton Thorne is doing, but it's the critical things that he's missing. It's like his misses are so critical that they are affecting the whole game. They aren't just like, a throwaway here, there, a missed pass here. It's like you got a wide open guy on a post in the end zone, wide open, man. And you just totally miss him. That game's 21-28 right there. You feel what I'm saying? So you're within a touchdown, a possession in that game, the Oklahoma game. And we know this is not the only thing that happened in the game, but in the Oklahoma game, we got the game wrapped up. Now, Hugh Freeze shouldn't have called the play he called, but Peyton Thorne threw a pick 6 in that game. You said the Georgia game, the botch call on your side of the field in negative territory to botch that call, man. So it's just like what he did, those were things that like cost us games. So I'm looking forward, man. I'm looking forward to a quarterback that has composure. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see a quarterback that has composure in this system. We know it produces. Yeah, situational football has to get better. But as far as the quarterback position, if we just had composure in that position, I think this year we win 2 or 3 more games just off composure alone.
Okay. All right. Marcus.
Well, the way I see it is, I feel like it's play calling. I feel like play calling has to be better going forward. I feel like you have to know the players that you're working with, and you have to strategize for their skill set. You go out and get the players, and you know the players, so you have to strategize for their skill set. We knew coming into the Iron Bowl what we should have did, but yet he threw the ball 41 times. That's not on Peyton Thorne. That's on coaching. If I'm the player and I'm told to go out and run plays, I'm gonna do what I'm told to do, and it is what it is. If I can make the throw, if I can't make the throw, it still has to be, to me, it's at the coaching. So next year, I really think naturally we're gonna get a quarterback that's better than Peyton Thorne. So I give us 7 to 8 games, but I feel like play calling and situational play calling has to be better going forward next year, or we'll end up being right back in the same situation.
I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this. I think Peyton Thorne played well enough for us to win 2 or 3 more games. Actually, I think he did. Not saying that he had a great year overall, but I think he had running up. Jason Caldwell, he puts out his Monday morning quarterback column on Mondays, and he put out something that I didn't really think about. We talked about it over the year, but I haven't really put too much thought into it about how important not having Alex McPherson in the kicking game was this year for Auburn. And he brought up some scenarios that made me think about too. Like, you know what? If he was there, would a couple of those games went our way, i.e. Missouri, i.e. an Arkansas game, maybe an Oklahoma game. Those are the 3 that I can think of right there. If Alex McPherson is playing, if he wasn't hurt, or well, not hurt, but ill as he was this past season. In those situations where you have a trusted field goal kicker, would those 3 to 6 points change the game? Like, would it change the flow of the game and how the game was going? So I see that and I look at that and I say, okay, understandable. We all know the quarterback position is something that we all have harped on and said that it was not Peyton Thorne is who Peyton Thorne was. It's just there was nothing drastically that was going to change from what we saw from him at Michigan State to his time here at Auburn. So, I think we're kind of beating the dead horse there when it gets to that situation. Offensive line. You look back at it this year, the left tackle position for sure was a wide open gate as well. But I sit here and I say, man, overall, I think me and DC, when we did the show earlier in the season before the season started, I think I had picked Auburn to go 8-4 this year. I thought the ceiling was 8-4, and I thought that it would rough. I thought 6 games was the lowest that Auburn would win. I believe DC was right around 8-4, 9-3 at the beginning of the season.
Same thing. Yeah.
And I think your flow was like 5 games. So I think you right where they was at, DC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I'm how do I feel going forward? I kind of feel like Tez. I'm a little confused, man. I'm a little confused and a little worried. You know what I'm saying? Because I honestly don't know what to expect. With the age of the transfer portal, with the age of NIL, with the age of guys being able to opt out now and basically sit out a year and determine if they decide they want to keep playing and keep going forward. I honestly don't know what to expect. And that's kind of disheartening to me a little bit, because you can kind of sit here and look at it and be like, all right, next year, this is what we got coming back, and this is what's gonna happen. We got these guys that's gonna be here, but I don't know, man. And then couple that with the situational game management situation that's going on, I just don't know. Like, even if we do get a competent quarterback in those situations, is the game management part, the situational football part, gonna couple with that?
That's what I want to talk to, Nick.
Right.
That is my holdback. Like, we sit here, we talk about Cam Ward. If Cam Ward was there, if we was in a close game, let's say Cam Ward is the quarterback, hypothetically speaking, and we still in a close game with Arkansas, or we in a close game with Georgia, do I trust the game management situation of the coaching staff to win us that game? I can't 100% sit here and say, yeah, I do. You know what I'm saying? So there's still some things that we have to that I think that this coaching staff has to prove now. And I'm talking about Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze is proven, and his coaching staff, of course, is proven they can recruit. I don't think none of us on here can say that they can't recruit. They can do that. Problem is, and I've always said this, can they develop it and can they manage it? Can they manage it? It's the problem. That's where it is. Fellas, Auburn is officially in the offseason, and the transfer portal, we have signing day coming up on the 4th, which is Wednesday. And the transfer portal is opening up December 9th, which is next Monday. Next Monday. As it sits right now, Auburn has Holden Garner, EJ Harris, and Michael Riley in the portal. Reports were saying that Hank Brown was entering the portal. He came out a couple of hours later and said that that's not true. He has not entered the portal. But he did not say, he said he's not entering the portal yet, but he didn't say he does not have plans on entering the portal, because technically he can't enter the portal until the 9th. With that, are there any other guys y'all are expecting that's on the roster, that was on this past roster this season, that will not be on the roster in 2025? Are there any guys y'all can think of that you can possibly sit here and say, he's gone? He's gone. I got one in particular, but go ahead. I'm gonna start with DC.
Just right off the bat, man. I can't think of anybody other than, everybody saying Hank Brown. That's the only obvious person I could think that may think it out, depending on if they go and get a what kind of quarterback they get out of the portal. You know what I'm saying? Because if they get him out of the portal, and then you got Deuce coming in and Walker White, he might see the writing on the wall. So that's maybe the obvious person. Not to say that he is, because he might be the type of dude that's like, man, I'm gonna stick around, like Stetson Bennett just kept hanging around. You know what I'm saying? Transferred out, transferred back.
Back in.
Yeah. Just kept hanging around the program, man, and this dude wind up winning 2 national titles. So he might be that kind of dude that just stick around and say, hey, man, I'm going to win this game. He might be a competitor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say, I'll say Hank Brown. It's obvious that people would think.
What you think, Tez? What you thinking?
Yeah, somebody actually just put it in the chat. Camden Brown, probably.
Yeah, that is the person that I was thinking of. Yeah,
I was thinking so too.
And I think he goes somewhere and balls out too. to be honest. There were some rumors maybe about Cobb. I don't see Cobb leaving. I would want to retain him for sure, but I can see Cameron Brown walking out the door for real.
Okay. Marcus, what you thinking? Anybody in particular coming to your mind?
I was gonna say Camden Brown too. At first, I was gonna say I want to call BS on Hank. I think Hank gone, but he said he wasn't. But Camden would be my next person.
Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think Can Lee flirts with the portal. I think Can Lee flirts with the portal. I think he does the Keontae Scott. I think he does what Keontae Scott did last year. I think Can Lee jumps in the portal, sees what's out there, and then if it doesn't work out, I think he ends up back at Auburn. But I think there's an opportunity that Can Lee could possibly end up in the portal and actually be gone. I mean, with what's coming in, with Naeem offered Crystal Ball to flip to Auburn, I think that's probably one of the excuse me. I think that's a boundary corner spot locked up right there. I think Naeem Alford can come in and start as a freshman. I think he can. I think he can come in. Him and Jay Crawford on the end. I think they can start as freshmen. Coming in. But let's get to the most important position that everybody's talking about: quarterback. Quarterback. All right. So, Walker White is still in this. Is still in this quarterback room. As of now, Hank Brown is still in the quarterback room. Those are your two scholarship quarterbacks. Deuce Knight, well, he says that he is going to make his college decision on Wednesday. I believe at 9:30 at his high school Wednesday. So we'll be on the lookout for that to see if he sticks with Auburn or if he decides to take his talents elsewhere. A name has popped up. Well, two names has popped up in the transfer portal world of college football. Washington State's OC is leaving, so John Mateer is rumored to enter the portal and maybe somebody that Auburn looks at. Now, he has not entered the portal yet. It is just rumored because his OC is leaving Washington State. He may be entering the portal. Another name that has popped up as well, USC quarterback Miller Moss has plans to enter the portal, and it is reported that the schools that he is interested in looking at are, I'm pulling it up right now. He is interested in looking at Louisville, Iowa, Michigan, and Auburn are the schools that Miller Moss is looking at possibly transferring to. Now, Miller Moss was the quarterback that for USC this year that did beat LSU in the first game of the season. Just from I don't know how much Miller Moss y'all watch or how much of John Mateer y'all watch or if y'all have seen any of them. This is for the panel and anybody can answer first. Which one of those quarterbacks do you believe fits best with what Hugh Freeze wants to do?
I'm shaking my head with Ted. I'm like,
neither one of them. They both sound like.
I said neither one of them.
Yeah, I mean, man, guys, honestly, man. When I look at the only one that has viable stances is what Mateer. I looked at him. He's got 3,100 yards, like 25 touchdowns,
like 6 interceptions, I believe,
something like that.
Yep,
that's not in a much weaker conference. You can't tell me that's significantly better than the quarterback we just had.
Well, Washington State doesn't even have a conference,
right? Was playing a significantly easier schedule. You can't tell me that's much better than the quarterback we just had. It just feels. I don't know what we're looking for in the quarterback. Is the problem? I don't know. It feels like in order for this offense to be successful, we need a Heisman Trophy finalist at quarterback.
You're correct. You are correct.
That's what it feels like, and that's why I try to pump the brakes on. We need a quarterback. We need a quarterback because it's like, how good a quarterback are we going to need? These guys look like two Peyton Thorns to me. You know what I mean? And that's not going to be significantly better than what we have right now. As of right now, I don't know a quarterback in the portal that changes us for real, for real. Those two, I definitely don't think are it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I just don't know what the answer is.
I was talking to DC about this.
Question.
I was talking to DC about this yesterday, and I told him, I said the material dude. I told him when I watched him play, I said he's exciting to watch.
Right.
The vibe I get from watching Mateer, well, if I'm saying, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. I'm just gonna keep saying that. If I'm saying it wrong, please phonetically tell us in the comments how it's supposed to be said. I get Johnny Manziel-esque mixed with Bo Nix when I watch him play. When I watch the highlights, that's kind of what I see. I see like a mixture of Johnny Manziel and Bo Nix play. Now, if you can kind of, is that good? Is that type of quarterback what this offense needs to be able to score in the red zone? Because I mean, let's just be real. The offense does not have a problem moving the ball between the 20s. How do we score when we get in the red zone? Because that was the problem for Auburn in this game this past weekend, not being able to score in the red zone. What does this offense need in order to score the ball in the red zone? And some may already argue that they had the person on the field to do it, but it wasn't utilized correctly. What are y'all thoughts on that?
That is the thoughts on that. They didn't run the football. We're waiting to get the ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, play calling is the reason what cost us a lot of games down the line. And I stand on that. And I'm like Tez, I feel like if we go get a quarterback, we have to get a quarterback that's gonna be so great it negates bad play calling. When the play breaks down, this quarterback goes and makes a wonderful play just off pure talent. So it's just like I don't see that quarterback right now. And I'm hoping maybe one of these guys turn into that quarterback, but right now I don't see it.
Yeah. I'm like this out of the quarterbacks. I'm like, man, this is my opinion. Bro, just go get Caden Salter, somebody that already knows your system, so we can get that out of the way. Maybe you don't have to pay as much as you would have to pay as the top tier quarterbacks. Go get a Caden Salter. He knows your system. He's been in it before, so we can X that out. Go spend some money on the offensive line. Take all your money you got, every penny of it, and spend it on the offensive line, man.
Tackles.
Auburn can't, more specifically tackles. Man, Auburn cannot run the ball at will. It runs the ball well at times, but when you really need it, like, okay, man, we need to just run the ball. Sometimes they can't, man. Sometimes they can't just run at will. Sometimes they don't get that push. Sometimes they're not bully ball players. You know what I'm saying? Not that they can't run block. They are above average and pretty good at run blocking. But I'm saying there's some teams that can just dominate the trenches. They need domination in the trenches. I think defensive line, as far as who we have coming back, if we can keep this class together, I think defensive line in the front on the defense is going to be fine. Offensive line, man. We'll talk defensive line, but I think maybe defensive line, you go get one. You just need a difference maker like, what's my man that went to Ole Miss, man, the defensive lineman that left?
Walter Nolan.
Walter Nolan. Yeah, you need one difference maker because you got Blockton coming back. You got 97 coming back. You got those guys coming back. And then you got to look at the dogs we have coming in. If they can be put in a position where they start early the same way as Blockton did, they can give you time. And then if you bring like one or two linemen out of the portal, I think you're pretty deep in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you got Gage Keys and those guys coming back. But with the quarterback situation, go get Salter, man, and spend all your money on offensive tackles, man. Bring in some top-tier offensive tackles.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? So if he goes and gets a quarterback that we think knows his scheme, and we look up and we're right here next year, what are we saying then?
It's definitely coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's saying it's definitely coaching, man.
That's
Well,
what it's saying.
I think, man, and I thought about this. I thought about this a lot because this whole quarterback situation has had me kind of like I said, confused. Watching the Alabama game, thinking about the games that I've watched, there is no plan in Hugh Freeze's offense for pressure to how to handle pressure.
Mm.
When we get blitz, there is no immediate hot read. The play calling doesn't change to like a screen game, get the ball out quick. He's still relying on when there's pressure that for that RPO to operate. So you need a quarterback that's going to stand in the pocket, take that hit, and still be able to deliver the ball, or which means you need a quarterback with elite decision making, or you need a quarterback like Malik Willis who could just run from everybody in those cases when you blitz, right? Knowing the system, it's almost like this is one of the things about Peyton Thorne. I think Peyton Thorne actually is a smart quarterback.
Agree.
But I think that it gets wasted because in an RPO system, the play decides where the ball goes. The quarterback doesn't. So you almost don't need somebody with elite mentals to run the system.
Yeah.
You need a quarterback with an elite ability.
Exactly.
Does he have a big arm?
Exactly.
Can he run? Like we need a guy like that. I don't see one of those guys in the transfer portal. We maybe and people gonna kill me for this because a lot of people have this notion that the quarterback of the future is not on the roster. That may not be the case. We may have in another year in this system, you have two quarterbacks that spent 2 years in the system. One of them is an athlete. The other one has a quick trigger. One of those guys may step up and actually be the quarterback for next year. As far as I can see.
I'm gonna ask you this question. To that take. So are you saying the quarterback to run this system? And I'm about to make a point, DC. I hope you follow me when I say this.
Okay.
Are you saying the quarterback to run this system
is
basically that too, but it needs to be something like what the 2013 offense looked like?
If indeed that you're deciding that you want to go the athletic route. I think you can run this system without a Nick Marshall type quarterback. You can run one with like a quarterback that possesses some type of elite ability. Like either he's super accurate, elite accuracy, or elite arm strength. One of those. Peyton Thorne doesn't have any of those. He doesn't do anything at an elite level. He just does.
He's like
kind of
average,
right?
A little bit above average, maybe.
And that's what happens when we get in the red zone. The pressure comes, and then how do we respond to it? Usually there's like a whole section of the playbook that you go to when a team decides. They say, when the team says, like Alabama decided in his Iron Bowl, hey, we're going to blitz you every play on third down. We're just going to send the house. There's a whole section of your playbook that you go to combat that. Hugh does not have that. He puts that all on the signal caller. So that guy has to have some type of elite ability. And I don't know who that guy is right now.
So basically, Hugh Freeze system has to have a world beater at QB for it to be.
That's amazing. What I'm thinking.
But to combat that, would you say Bo Wallace was a world beater?
No.
Would you say Ryan Applin was a world beater?
Was not.
Now, to make your point, the year that Malik Willis was at Liberty and ran this offense, that was the year he won 10 games. But every other year at Liberty, he only won 8 games. Right. Now,
it doesn't. I think in this system, listening to one of the previous staff members that Hugh Freeze has, he says the quarterback has to be a good decision maker. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you have to have composure. And I think that's what I think. Peyton Thorne is smart. I think he's a comparable quarterback, man. But I think Peyton Thorne lacked composure. You know what I'm saying? In the SEC, you got to have composure, man. These defenses are tenacious, man. They're fast. They're physical. You know what I'm saying? They move at another speed, man. Look, they had the Heisman Trophy candidate, Bo Nix, looking like a straight trash quarterback. when he went to Oregon and came back and played Georgia, even he was doing good. When he went back and played Georgia, they scored 3 points, man. He looked like trash again.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He was looking good, but when he played Georgia again, he looked like the same Bo Nix.
Hey, what they said, DC? They flew all the way across the country to score 3 points.
Scored 3 points, man. But it tells you the speed of the SEC defenses, man. It takes a quarterback that has composure. That's what Stetson Bennett had. He wasn't elite at anything either. But Stetson Bennett had this composure that was crazy, man.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this question then. I'll ask you this question. Would a Stetson Bennett type quarterback work in this offense?
Yes, I think it will. I think you just need a good decision maker that can make the reads, that has composure, number one. Put that aside. Now go fix the offensive line. The offensive line is Auburn's Achilles heel, dude. A lot of it is the quarterback position, but a lot of it is offensive line, man. And they're getting better. We have to be elite. I think for this system to really take us to a national championship, I think we're going to have an elite offensive line. Not necessarily an elite quarterback, because Hugh Freeze has never had an elite quarterback. He's never had an elite quarterback, and the system works. I think for us at Auburn, we're going to have an elite offensive line to protect that guy, to let him make the reads, to run at will when we need to, and to overcome the crazy play calling.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So basically, that's a really good point. So basically, if you put the protection in front of the guy who's not that good, it'll make him look better, because they are doing, because the way you invested at is doing his job of protecting him and giving him time to make the decision. All right, I get what you're saying.
He said, Bo Wallace said he threw for over 3,000 yards in this system with a messed up arm. He was just like, Peyton Thorne, he's not making the right decisions. He was like, Peyton Thorne is going for these deep shots and big shots when he's missing all of the 4-yard gains. He was like, I was taking the 4-yard gains. He was like, they are available. He was like, Peyton Thorne is not taking them. He's trying to get these deep shots and all this stuff, these big plays. He need to take the 4 yards and keep the chains moving. He was
DC,
go ahead.
No, DC, I was about to ask you. So in the Iron Bowl, though, it was almost the opposite. It was almost like the deepest pass that we attempted was from Jarquez Hunter. Like I literally was watching the entire game saying,
well, except for the touchdown he threw to Cam. Except for the touchdown.
Yeah, except for that one. But like I was literally watching the entire game saying he's gonna take a shot right here. He's gonna take a shot right here. Like even when they called the halfback pass before that, I told my partner, he gonna take a shot right here. We just had a turnover, change of possessions. Hugh was gonna come out and take a shot right here. Now I didn't know that he was gonna take that shot with a running back. But you know, it was kind of the opposite of that. He wasn't taking the deep shots. He wasn't going down the field. When I think that would have helped, because they were pretty much daring him to do that. When the way Alabama was playing defense, they was daring him to do that, and he was throwing the ball intermediate. You saw a lot of comeback routes. You saw a lot of just routes that was going to move the chains, but not necessarily get you in the end zone. I just think the coaching staff is out of touch with the flow of the game.
Agree.
That too. I agree.
That's
agree.
That's what I was going to ask you, DC. Once we shoe up this offensive line, like you said, what is your faith that when it's time to run the football, that Hugh Freeze is going to call the right play to actually move the football? Because that's the issue,
Marcus. I have no faith. Only faith I have is that the offensive line will be elite enough, like I said, to overcome the dumb play calling. Because a dude said it. He said, "Man, when I cross the 40, I go to the analytics book." That's why the flow of the game looks stupid. Because it's like you calling probably out of your gut in the feel of the game till you get to a certain position, and now you go into a book.
Yep.
It makes no sense, man. That's probably why the play of the game looks like it's just like, bro, it's mind-boggling. Like, dude, why did you do that? You know, so
I agree.
I think that's what it is, but
okay. Let me ask you this question. I asked y'all this question, man. And we kind of talked about this on Have You Heard Sunday. Should Hugh Freeze give up play calling? Should Hugh Freeze take the CEO approach and literally just go hire a OC and just let that OC run the offensive side of the ball and let Hugh just be the CEO of the football team. I mean, you see what's happening with DJ Durkin on the defense side of the ball. The defense,
great job, phenomenal.
That's exactly. You know what I'm saying? The defense is doing really well. You know, and that's with a young squad. That's what a lot of young guys on that side of the ball.
Isn't
I
that
have
his claim
proposed.
to fame, though?
Say what now?
Say, like, isn't that Hugh Freeze's claim to fame though?
Yeah,
Like,
it is what it is. But when you
know.
become a head coach, like even Nick Saban was a defensive coordinator in NFL. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't calling the and when he got to Alabama, he wasn't calling the defense, even though he was a defensive guy. He was a defensive backs coach. I mean, he had some input in what was going on during the week and doing game planning, but he wasn't calling. He wasn't the game day play caller of what was happening. That was Pete Golden. That was Kirby Smart. That was those guys that was doing that. So my question is this: should I have proposed this? You know, people may think it's a bad idea, but I think it actually may have some credence. When Ohio State lose in these playoffs, I think he should call Ryan Day to be the offensive coordinator. Now, Bubba disagrees with me because he said he doesn't think Ryan Day is going to take a coordinator position. He probably won't.
Man, that's all he'll be able to take. That's all he's going to be able to take. Man, that was horrible, bro.
I honestly think he should take Ryan Day. I think he should I think he should go call Ryan Day and offer him the offensive coordinator position job.
If I'm Ryan Day, I'm running to that job because it might not get no better.
Man, come on, Ryan Day. He'll get another head coach.
Man, come on, man. Ryan Day blew it with Stroud. Then he just blew it with his team. Come on, man. Ryan Day ain't touching the light of day as a head coach.
When again? Like what, for like the next 2 years?
2 years. He might well go to an HBCU. But
wow, bro. Wow.
So you hold up.
Wow.
So
wow, that's not funny, but it's funny, bro.
So you telling me? So you telling me if Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, any of those schools open up, they wouldn't call Ryan Day to be the head coach?
Why would you be encouraged to though? Look at the roster that he had.
I'm saying I could see them calling him like, bro. I could see them calling Ryan Day. I could see those schools like, yeah, man, and feel good about it. I could see the fan base feel good about it. If
here's okay, I'm gonna say this. I think NIL has changed that around too. I think a lot of schools are gonna start sticking with a lot of coaches longer than what they would have because of NIL. So if a coach is doing bad, I think that coach may have a little bit more leeway. He may get an extra year or two just because of the fact that these schools are not gonna have to start putting these players on payroll. And the buyouts that these guys are having it's a lot of money that it may strap these schools some, especially some of these smaller schools that don't have the budget as Ohio State or have the budget of Oregon or Georgia or Alabama. So I think a lot of these schools may stick with a lot of these guys, or which I believe is the reason why Ryan Day won't even be available this offseason, because of the fact that, I mean, you just paid $20 million for a roster allegedly. What is his buyout? What is Ryan Day's buyout? Like, that's guaranteed money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't Texas A&M that can just give out $76 million to one person for them not to coach. You know what I'm saying? And things, stuff like that. So my thing is, as much as I think that you're going to start seeing a lot of guys who were the head guys at schools, I think you're going to start seeing a lot of them do what Chip Kelly and what Gus Malzahn just did. Just so they don't have to have that pressure. They just going to be like, man, I'm just going to go be a coordinator. And I just have to deal with one side of the ball.
Well, I think those guys have realized through their head coaching trials that they're best at being coordinators.
They're coordinators, exactly.
Yeah. But as far as Auburn though, like, and Hugh Freeze calling the plays or hiring somebody to call plays, I think even if he calls the play, like, it just needs to be one hand in the pot. I think that's why why it looks so just discombobulated this year, because he even said you got Derek Nix on like first and second down, then Ken Austin is calling the passing plays, and then I'm stepping in on third down. And the offense looks like that, right? Last year under Hugh Freeze, I don't know what that was. You know, I don't know if he was calling those plays or not, but I think the rumor is his contract, his buyout ends after year 3. So if I'm a coach and my buyout ends after year 3 and I'm an offensive guru, I'm calling plays. And it's going to be no hands in pots. It's going to be me every single play. It just is what it is. So before Hugh Freeze got to Auburn, I thought he was a great play caller. I haven't seen Hugh Freeze commit to calling plays by himself at Auburn yet. I would love to see that.
Is this season, okay, to that point, is this season different if Hugh Freeze is the sole play caller throughout the season? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, that's kind of what got Brian Harsin fired, along with the recruiting. Was Brian Harsin, he was known as an offensive guy. Like, he put these guys in the league. Kellen Moore was his quarterback. Was a quarterback that he coached. He's known as a great play. Harsin was known as a great play caller, but he wasn't calling plays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but my thing is, and of course he wasn't recruiting as well too. But the thing is this too. Like, if Hugh Freeze calls plays, does this season look different? Do we win those extra? Or do we win those extra 2 to 3 games to be able to have an 8-win season?
I think this season looks different if anybody calls plays by themselves. Like, if you let Hugh Freeze call the plays by himself, I think the season looks different. If you let Derek Nix call all the plays by himself, I think the season looks different. Think about what Hugh Freeze said in the press conference at the Alabama game. He said that he called the 4th down read option, whatever that was, at the goal line. You remember that play?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So think about what happened. We're driving the ball. We're getting up to the goal line. Then the head coach steps in and say, "No, let's go fast. Let's run this read option and try to sneak in the end zone." Right? When you had somebody obviously in the rhythm, because we got that far, you should have just let him continue to call the plays at that point and get us in the end zone. You came in, inserted yourself. You don't have a feel for the game at that point. So I think if he just let one person call plays and not have this makeshift group by committee play calling mess that we've seen, I think it looks loads better than what it looks like this year.
Okay, so a single play caller. Okay,
just one.
So basically what you're saying. So basically what you're saying is I should be, if since it in his contract it does say after year 3 his buyout goes away. So basically, I should be more inclined to believe that now Hugh Freeze is going to take full ownership of the offense coming up in 2025.
I'm saying that if it was me, I would. I don't know what he's going to do.
Here's the backside of that, though. Here's the backside of that. Is Hugh Freeze ready to take all the blame for what comes?
Well, he's going to get fired if it doesn't work.
Huh?
You see what I'm saying? He's going to get fired if it doesn't work.
Of course, but the thing is, is he ready to take the blame for it and be the reason why he got fired, or does he want to have the scapegoat of saying, "Well, if I could have did this and I would have had this, we would have been done better."
What he's saying is, can he withstand without deflecting all the time? Can he go to the press conference and not say and not have no one else to blame but himself?
Yeah, I'm probably not. But what I'm saying, if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. Because if it doesn't work, whether he's calling the plays or not, he's gonna be sitting at home in 2026. Like, so what do you want to do? You want to let somebody else call the plays on your contract year? You want to call plays? I'm gonna call my own plays, bro. I'm gonna go out with what I've done my entire career.
Golden Boot, shout out to the Golden Boot podcast. I saw this comment come up in his question. He said, so I have to ask, this is shout out to those guys, Vandy, Chris, and George over there, man. He said, so I have to ask, what signal does it send to you as fans that your number 2 and number 3 quarterback enter the portal within minutes of each other on Sunday? Now, to your point, Golden Boot, Holden Geriner did enter the portal. He did mention that he has plans to enter the portal. Hank Brown came out and refuted the statements that he was entering the portal, but it's still confusion there. So we don't know if he still has plans to enter, but he did come out and say that the reports of him entering the portal were false. I'm gonna take y'all thoughts on that. What do y'all think about that? This question right here, as fans.
Well, as a quarterback room, y'all took a lot of scrutiny this year. So, you know, and he didn't step in front of it a lot. So I would say, why not go? Like you said, like you posted it, go be great somewhere else.
I had to delete it. I had to delete it because
Posted it though.
I had to delete it.
Posted it, though.
I had to
Somebody
delete it.
trying to
I
go be
did
great.
post it. It was up for like 45 minutes, but I had to delete it.
Old as hell.
I'm gonna
Stop
say this,
lying,
man. I'm gonna say this as the person that came in the introductory press conference and said I turn programs around quickly and I develop quarterbacks. I'm low key kind of skeptical if I'm a quarterback and I'm coming to Auburn. Just a little bit skeptical, man. I mean, because now, granted, you sit here and you say Peyton Thorne probably wasn't his first choice in the portal. I think we all can agree and say that's the truth. That's if we had to look back at everything that was going on, there's truth to that. He was not his first option in the portal. But for you to sit there and say that you develop quarterbacks in your introductory press conference, that means that if there's a guy that comes to you, when he leaves you, we should see incremental steps of him getting better. And I can't sit here and say that I saw where you made Peyton Thorne better as a quarterback. So as a recruit coming in, I will be kind of concerned about that. What's y'all thoughts on that? DC and Tez, what y'all think?
Go ahead, DC.
I think, man, honestly, man, I just think, man, color me blind. I think Peyton Thorne was just a one-off, man. I think one, again, he hitched himself to Peyton Thorne, number one. Okay, I think everybody would have been okay knowing that wasn't his first quarterback that he took, and he's just getting there, so he had to get a quarterback in. If he would have let Peyton Thorne go and went into the portal and got a Cam Ward, I think everybody would have been more forgiving. But it was like, dude, everybody saw that this wasn't the guy. And then you double hit your wagon to him again. That's what is mind-boggling. It's like, bro, we're fans and we don't know anything. Okay, cool. We've never coached it down. Cool, that's cool. But bro, it's like, man, sometimes the fans are right, Hugh. Sometimes the fans are right, man. Everybody, because even you said it, and I'm talking to Hugh Freeze. I've talked to Hugh Freeze something. Bro, even you said it after the bowl game.
Yes, he did. Please tell him, DC. Tell him, DC. Tell him.
He detached from this guy after the bowl game and was like, dude, we can't keep doing this. The competition is wide open. Then, bro, a few weeks later, we don't even play a game, and he hits his wagon right back to it.
Yeah,
like, bro, that was the tragedy. Everybody could have taken the first season with Peyton Thorne and the mishaps and it would have just been like, okay, cool, man, we had to deal with that. He didn't have his guy. Okay, dude, why didn't you go to the portal? He said it himself. I'm not spending $1 million on a quarterback.
He said that.
That was you see what I'm saying? That was the big mistake right there. Is like running with this dude again, bro. Results we got, man, you would have came out better just, man, getting Walker White in, just let Hank Brown run the team. We would have had the same results, man.
Yeah.
Right.
And everybody would have still been forgiving saying that's a new quarterback.
Yeah, but the excuse could have been we building for the future. This is the guy that would have been he's gonna be the guy next year. So he's getting his lumps now. We can take a losing season with that. But next year, you know, he's getting the experience, getting run around these guys, and then next year we should be able to start seeing some incremental changes.
Well, Nick, even to piggyback off that, Nick, if you knew that from last year, why didn't you tell your offense to fit what he could do better instead of having him come out come out every first down and throw stop routes, a curl route, and you know he's wildly inaccurate.
It's a great point, man.
Wildly inconsistent,
point, bro.
You know why that's so puzzling, Marcus? Go ahead.
No, I'll just saying OG. We said I was just answering this question because it did just pop up. It seems as if Mateer, and shout out to TJ Lou for putting it phonetically in the chat for me so I can say it right. Mateer from Washington State, who may be entering the portal because his OC is leaving Washington, or he may just be following his OC to wherever he goes. And then Miller Moss, who's the quarterback for USC, has announced that he has plans of entering the portal. So those are the two. Well, Moss for sure, because he's definitely said he's entering. So those are the two guys that we're looking at based on what's been reported in the past 6 hours. All right, my bad. Go ahead, Tez. I ain't mean to.
No, that's all good. But Marcus, kind of to piggyback off what you said and why it's so puzzling. Like you said, why doesn't he build the offense around what the guy's strengths and weaknesses are, right?
Yep.
Why that's so puzzling is I watched last year him basically field what was a service academy offense where we didn't throw the ball at all because we didn't believe we had the pieces to throw the ball with. And now this year, you're calling plays as if you have Tom Brady, but you have Peyton Thorne.
What is the biggest X factor
it.
in that? What is the biggest X factor in what you just mentioned, Tez?
What do you mean?
Philip Montgomery was the play caller last year.
Philip Montgomery was the play caller.
I think that's why we ran the ball so well last year, because Philip Montgomery was there. I think that's why we ran the ball so well.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie to you. The very first moment of pause that I had with I keep wanting to call this man Gus Malzahn with Coach Hugh Freeze. If y'all remember back to his first spring, coming out his first spring, we're getting ready for the first game. He comes out and says that Holden Garner basically had a better spring scrimmage than anybody else on the roster.
Yep.
But he went with Peyton Thorne because of experience and for him to, I guess, like knock the rust off or whatever.
Yes.
And it was at that point I was kind of like, okay, so he's not going to play the person that performs the best. That's a cause for concern. Whenever you have a coach that's saying, like, I'm not going to play the dude that showed up in practice and balled out. No, he's not going to get a turn. We're going to try to play somebody into shape. That's never going to work out. And then now we see Holden, the first quarterback, hitting the transfer portal. He never was going to get on the field. If he couldn't get on the field after performing the best in spring practice, he definitely is not going to be able to get on the field. So I don't blame him for,
Speaking of that, Jay Flowers, shout out to Jay Flowers. He came back and said, being real, Holden was never going to play, not even for Harsin. Ain't going to play clearly. So I don't care. I mean, this is the thing though, man. Holden was recruited by Harsin. I think Holden was the guy that Harsin wanted for his system. This is me personally. I think that's the type. If you go back and look at the quarterbacks that have been, especially like a Kellen Moore type, Holden Garner kind of fits that mold a little bit. So I think that's the guy that Harsin wanted to run the offense that he wanted to run at Auburn, but he's not there. And I just don't think. I think when Hugh Freeze got hired, I think Holden Garner was never going to play. I agree with y'all that he was never going to play in this offense with Hugh Freeze. That's just my personal opinion on that. Before we get up out of here, fellas, defensive side of the ball. We talked about D-line a little bit earlier. And I stated that I think that what we're missing on the defensive line is a dominant presence in the middle. And I mentioned this earlier. I mentioned this early in the season. I can't remember what game it was that I said this, but I said I feel like if Auburn can get a pass rush presence that can get in the face of the quarterback when the quarterback steps up in the pocket, it will help out a lot. You had that in spurts this year, but it wasn't a dominant presence. You didn't have a Derek Brown there. You didn't have a Nick Fairley there. Does Auburn need to go out and find that guy through high school recruiting? Because or can they find him in the portal? But the other question of that is that guy even in the portal? Either one of y'all.
I don't think he's in the portal. Not yet, at least. I hope I think Blackton can like transform and be that guy, honestly. And then Amir Williams coming out that end. I think they're gonna be dangerous once they get the experience. It's just now we gotta get DBs, man. We gotta get our secondary correct as well. and hopefully, you know, we get a linebacking core that support that defensive line that we're talking about. But right now, I feel like we gotta get some DBs after this.
That's what I'm worried about the linebackers next year. I mean, you had a lot of linebackers leave. Asante
I'm
leaving.
more worried about that's the position I'm worried about.
Mausi leaving. Keys leaving.
You gotta go get 2 studs. You gotta go get at least 2 out. 2. I'm talking about changes, man.
Very true.
I think you'll hit for a linebacker in the transfer portal before you hit for a good DB. To me,
yeah. Well, 2 of the guys that we saying we have to replace, they came by the transfer portal.
Exactly, Mausi and Asante. Well, Asante came out.
Asante came out too.
Yeah,
the Keys,
all of them.
Yeah,
all transfer portal guys.
Yeah. So,
I'm very high on DJ Barber, but I believe DJ Barber took a red shirt this year.
Yeah,
if I'm not
DJ
mistaken,
Barber's gonna be well. Then
he's gonna be a baller.
You bringing back Reddick, he's already got experience.
Yes.
Now this is my question, and then you got to bring about Williard too. So we have 3.
Yeah.
Do you think they move Joe Phillips?
I was just about to say that.
Do you think they move Joe to the middle? See,
I was just about to say that.
Joe to the middle, and then maybe get 2 more out of the portal. We got a deep linebacking core.
I was just about to say that because he actually played some of that in high school. He actually played some of the middle in high school.
I think we're good at the edge positions, man.
Yeah, man. You got I mean, and I was looking at the potential depth chart that they got. I think they even had Joe Phillips like still 3rd on the depth chart
at edge
next year.
Yeah, think about this because you got the guy that what's the guy name that came from Arkansas State, the 24, the defensive end.
Crawford.
Keyron Crawford, yeah.
Man, he came on at the end, so he's coming back next year.
He did.
Right.
So you're going to have him, and hopefully you'll have Keldrick on the other side. Then you have Williams on one side. Then, you know, Joe is going to be like the 3rd, even in the 3rd in that position.
Yeah.
Or edge. So I don't know if you put him back in the middle. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, he can probably get some run in the middle too. Either way, man, I think Joe Phillips
I'm more worried
I'm put it like this. Joe Phillips just need to be on the field because he a baller, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I don't care where you put him at. Just put him on the field. The boy can play. I'm telling you, man.
I'm more worried about depth in the secondary and on the D line than just finding that guy because I mean, you look at this year, we started or rotated a freshman at every position on defense. Every single one. We led the league in freshman stats on defense. These guys are going to grow up and be an absolute problem, assuming that we can keep, especially if we can keep some depth like Ken Lee. We can keep some guys like that. These guys are going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with, man. They're only going to get better. Even at linebacker, I look at DeMarcus Riddick. I know he's probably feeling it now, but I mean, this is a guy who probably needed to be humbled, right? And what does he look like as a humbled linebacker? I think it could work, man. I think we need more depth because I read somewhere, I don't know how true this is, but I read somewhere that there are more players on this roster that were recruited by Gus Malzahn than there are that were recruited by Brian Harsin. Which was interesting.
Interesting. You got to think, Jarquez Hunter is the only person left from that Harsin class.
Yeah, when I started looking through it, I'm like, yeah, you might be right about that.
It's crazy.
So we definitely have a depth problem because that means like we just had like a year and a half in the hole, right? Pretty much. So I think from a depth standpoint, I think that's what we need to go after. I think the guys are on our roster. I think Blockton can be a force in the middle. We're talking about a freshman now who next year will develop. Like I said, Riddick and DJ Barber. And then even on the back end, like we had a safety problem and then Harris came in.
Yeah.
And
you gotta realize Champ Anthony went out with an injury in the Arkansas game too.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking y'all, why do y'all think the back end is a problem? Is it like
I just want to reassure because I know
we found a safety. I know that much.
Yeah, so you got Sylvester Smith, you got Harris, then if you bring in Fagans and Winters under them, dude, that's gonna be deep. Then if you can keep Canley, if you can keep the freshman All-American, and then if you can bring in Naeem Alford and then bring back Champ Anthony, you got some dudes back there, man. You got some dudes. So that's why I was wondering why y'all like.
And maybe go get like a transfer junior out of the portal or something like that. Maybe. You know, maybe
maybe
get a
you
transfer
just
out
need
the portal.
one guy, one or two guys
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah, it's just depth.
Okay, I got you.
Just
Why
depth
you
for
say
me,
Mark?
that's all.
Okay, I got you.
What you thinking, Marcus?
Oh no, I was just saying because you just got to make sure, because the thing about SEC defenses, we're gonna blitz a lot, and when you blitz a lot, you're gonna put that DB in man-on-man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in Auburn, if they pick up the blitz good enough, we end up getting caught slipping in man coverage. Like you said, we got some young guys, so I'm really encouraged with that. But like Nick said, I wanted to go get a transfer portal safety or another junior, like Nick said, just to reassure that back end. Because like I feel like the young pieces that we got in the front seven going eventually mature, and it's gonna be a show. I can't say what I want to say, but it's gonna be a show. But when that happens, I just want to make sure our DBs are in the proper situation, because Riddick, Joe, that front seven gonna be dangerous very soon.
Yep.
And that DB core got to be able to back it up.
Yeah.
Jay, to answer your question, Cormore went to Western Kentucky. That's where he is now. He's at Western
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky. And B Sharp, no, he's not flipping to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. No, it's not happening.
They'll probably flip that other corner we got, Donovan Starr.
Yeah,
Probably
Donovan
go to
Starr may
Alabama.
end up flipping, but
Yeah, if he do, man, if he flips, I'm not saying he's not, but if he flips, it'd be surprising because his brother's on.
Exactly.
So,
right.
And the king of the comments say no one is on the roster from Gus. Jeremiah Wright is on there. I think Luke Deal.
Yep.
Yeah. What you got to consider? What you got to consider about this?
May have been Gus, maybe. Yeah, so you got some several guys that are on there.
King Richard put this up, man. King Richard, this when he entered, this guy, Julian Humphrey, he started at Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, the past 2 seasons, and he has 2 years of eligibility left. And he announced that he's entering the portal as well. It would be nice to have him at Auburn, but I believe there's a rule in place. And tell me if I'm correct, DC, that he can't transfer to another SEC school.
Not in play immediately. I don't think he can play immediately.
Oh yeah, sit out again.
Yeah.
Or you got to sit out at least a year, I believe. But it would be nice to have him.
Coaching change or a graduate transfer.
Yeah. That would be nice to see that happen as well. Fellas, before we get up out of here, man, y'all last thoughts on what Auburn needs to do. We talked about a lot. We could have talked about a lot more, but time is of the essence. But any last thoughts before we get up out of here and things of that nature? DC, what's on your mind?
Man, give me some trenches, bro. Give me some trenches. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got. When I look at recruiting, man, and we lost our best offensive tackle to Florida, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, at first offensive line recruiting was a strength. Now it's just like we got 2, maybe 3 interiors and 1 offensive tackle again. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man. We got to get this offensive line right. We got to get this offensive line elite. Like I told Nick, it's scary when our best offensive lineman is a transfer tackle playing out of position.
Yep.
That's like, you know what I'm saying? Our best offensive lineman is a transfer from Tulsa that's playing out of position. How is it? Bro, give me some offensive lineman. I'm done.
I feel you. Tez, what you got, man? What's on your mind?
Man, I say, fill in the gaps. Like he said, in the trenches, definitely. We could use some help from the portal. But a lot of what he's doing already is stay the course, man. Just stay the course. And, man, have an evaluate. Come up with a plan. More so than the recruiting or what player I want. Come up with a plan for if it doesn't work. We're not gonna always get the best players in the world, but be prepared to come up with a plan, to look at our roster, see where deficient, and then call plays according to that. That's what I want to see. I want to see him go to a coaching clinic, or hand the keys to somebody else full time, whatever it may be. Something.
They go to a coach clinic. Oh man. Oh man. DC, tell the people where they can find you at, man, before we get up out of here.
You can find me at Auburn_addicts on all platforms, man. We on here. I gotta get on with Tight with Alabama fan. Oh, we're gonna do a watch party tomorrow too, man.
We surely will be.
Y'all check that out tomorrow night, man. Watch the unveiling of the college football playoff people that'll be in it. You know what I'm saying? And Wednesday with Tight Alabama. Oh, Iron Bowl debate. Got to deal with him on 6 o'clock. And then on Sundays, man, have you heard Auburn News Today at Auburn ADDICTS-TV? Check us out.
Yes, sir. Tez, what about you, man? Tell them where they can find you. 1/6/7 of the Sharpshooters podcast. A portion.
Yeah, it's right there. ProtoImagery.com on all platforms, so you can find me every week on Sharpshooters podcast as the only Auburn fan on there.
Stay your ground, brother. You stay your ground.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, you can check me out there. Getting a little volatile.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat today, man. Everybody, Jay Flowers, Wade, Phil, Sharpshooters, Travell, TJ Lou, God Body. Shout out to y'all, man. OG 22, King Richard, Jason Bernard. I said TJ Lou, right? Travell, the king of the comments. Shout out to all y'all. Bubba and the old man, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Kylie. Kylie Winks. Did I say that correctly? Hopefully I said that right, man. JW, man. The Golden Boot podcast. They are actually getting ready to kick off in a few minutes over on their on their channel. So go take a look at those guys. And go comment with them while they talk college football. Robert Burden, man. Shout out to you all. JW, man. Everybody that was in the chat tonight. Wade, I don't know if I mentioned Wade, but shout out to Wade, man. Wade was in the building, man. Huggy Beard. I can't forget my boy Huggy Beard, bro. Shout out to Huggy Beard. Shout out to C Hall, our other guy. And then, of course, feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. Phil Petway in the chat tonight, man. We appreciate all y'all. And of course, I can't forget about Big Nasty Kyle, our resident statistician that gives us all the stats. Tim Tucker. Tim Tucker was in there for a little bit, man. Shout out to Tim Tucker. Peanut Posse. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. Reg had a good coming up here, man. That I like. He said, "Hope y'all podcast takes off, man. Y'all realistic upper face. Salute." I ain't gonna say the last part, but man, shout out to Reg 205, man. Man, we appreciate all y'all that was in the chat with us tonight, man. Doug Dozier, I forgot about Doug, man. Shout out to Doug, man. Doug Dozier was in the chat as well, man. So we appreciate all y'all for being in the chat with us tonight, man. And everybody that watched and didn't comment, man, we appreciate y'all so much. Me and Marcus will be back. I forgot about my boy Cam. Shout out to Cam, man. Cam was in this thing as well, too. Alan Berry was in this thing. I think Ed Darby showed up a little bit, too. Shout out to Ed Darby as well, man. We appreciate all y'all for rocking with us here at the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the coolest podcast in your ear. Me and Marcus, we will be back Wednesday for our regularly scheduled show, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central here on the Water Cooler Talk podcast channel, man. We'll be breaking down some more college football, talk a little bit more Auburn, and talk some more college football as well, man. But we appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here at the Water Cooler Talk podcast. Mark, you got anything to say to the people before we get up out of here, man?
You know how I rock, man. Y'all have a safe and blessed week. And y'all take care and come back Wednesday. We're going to kick it off. Playoff time. So we got to get to it.
Yeah, man. We got to talk playoffs, man. And as always, man, before we get up out of here, man, thank y'all so much, man. Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a great one, man. I said that wrong, but I said that all the way wrong. It's not how I normally say it. But come man, on, yeah. Check us back. Check us back here Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, for our daily weekly show that we do on Wednesdays. The Water Cooler Talk podcast YouTube channel as well, man. Oh, hey, they said Sharpshooter said, what's up, Johnny Ford? What's going on, bro? That's what he said. Robert Bird said he repping for BCW class of 95, represent. Shout out class 2011 right here. What's going on? What's going on? We appreciate y'all so much, man. But man, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, make sure y'all hit the notification bell, make sure y'all hit the like button, share. Hey man, we just trying to grow and we just trying to get better, man. And hopefully we can become insiders so we can give y'all the scoop. And stuff like that. But we kind of, it is what it is. But as always, man, before we get up out of here, man, y'all have a good one. Now, better yet, y'all have a great one. We'll see you Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Y'all be blessed, man. One love. And we out.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell so you know when we post more videos and go live.